Ladies and gentlemen, surface area of pyramids and cones. You're doing one of the harder sections all alone, and I feel terrible about it, but we'll have the exposure and the experience with it, and next year we can make it easier. We go through finding the perimeter of a circumference of each of the figure. Finding the perimeter, 13 plus 12. Oh, you have to use Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. And then go in the reverse direction to find what A is. For the circumference of each, 2 times 22, which is 44, that's the diameter, times pi. And you'll get each. All right? Now, we don't need to worry about the problem of the day. It would be a nice thing to get, but time. To find the surface area of regular pyramids and cones, we do these things. Regular pyramid, slant height. Those are important things today. This is a pyramid. It's a square bottom, and there's 4 triangles that go up to it. From this outside edge to the point, that is the slant height. Okay? And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 triangles. Alright? So they're trying to show us this is why we use the formula we use. Do you see how they have 4 slant heights? Alright. The base of a regular pyramid is a regular polygon, and the surfaces are congruent isosceles triangles. These 4 are the same. So if we find one, we can find all the rest by simply multiplying by 4. The diagram shows a square pyramid. The blue dashed line labeled L is the slant height of the pyramid, the distance from the vertex to the midpoint of an edge. Vertex to the middle of an edge, the midpoint of an edge. We're not going down the edge, we're going to the middle of the edge. All right? So, they say, for the surface area, we have area of the base. Okay? That's what the B stands for. Plus 1/2 the perimeter side times the height. The perimeter times the height. Okay. That will get you one of the triangles. So then we should know we can multiply, if you're with me, that's great. That times 4, because that would then give me each of the sides. If it is a triangular prism, you would multiply that times 3. All right? So let's see how they put things into this. Area of the base plus 1/2 P times L. All right? Now for P, for P, they do the perimeter. So we do not need to do this 4. Perimeter would be including all 4 sides, and that is why we do not need to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. That stands for perimeter. My apologies. So the area of the base plus perimeter times height, and we divide it in half because those are all triangles, right? And to find each triangle, we divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. So let's see what we do. To find the area of the base, this is a square. To find the area of a square, I take 9 times 9. That's how I'm finding the area of the square. To find the area of the side, I'm going to add the perimeter like we did before of the base. 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9. All right, 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9 is 36. I then take 36 times my slant height, which is 10. And I multiply by 1/2 or divide by 2. All right? So I know that 9 times 9 is 81. This, if I simplify, 18 times 10 is 180. I add these together, and I get 261 meters squared for my area. Perimeter times the slant height, and since they're all triangles, we divide by 2 or multiply by a half. All right. So let's watch them work it out. Use the formula. Length times width for that area of the base. That's where we get the 81, 9 times 9. The 4 times 9 to get the perimeter of the bottom, that's your 36, times the 10 for the height, times 1/2. When we do all that, 81 plus 180, we get 261 meters squared. So let's look at this again. Please notice they've changed it. Now it is a triangular prism. Okay? To find the area of the base, the height of the base is 6, length is 7. All right? So I take 6 times 7, and for a triangle, divided by 2. Okay? Now I have to look at the other part. Perimeter. 7, 7, 7. So the perimeter of my bottom circle, or bottom triangle, is 21. My slant height from the middle of the back to the top is 8. So slant height, L, times perimeter, P, it's 21. And then I divide all that, because of this, by 2. All right. I would like to reduce first. You can still take 6 times 7 is 42, divided by 2, and get 21. I prefer to do this. Reduce each divided by 2. 3 times 7 is 21. All right, I can do 21 times 8. I get 168 divided by 2 and would have 82. Or 4 divided by 2 divided by 2, or 84. There's 8 for that one. Or 84 is our area then for our sides. We add those together and we get 105 inches squared. Area of the base. Perimeter times slant height divided by 2. We do our math. We come up with our answer. Let's go ahead and look at their process and see if what we did is correct. Make sure I didn't make any calculation errors. All right. 7 times 6 times 1/2, same as dividing it by 2. 21 times 8, divide by 2. When we do their math, let's see if they came up with the same numbers. 21 plus 84, we're 2 for 2, folks. All right. Again, we look. Notice we're back to a square on the bottom. So, area of the base, 3 times 3. Good time for you to stop and try one on your own. Okay. Then, plus, I'm going to get the perimeter for that base. 3 for the side, each side. So the perimeter is 12. Slant height is 5. And that's all divided by 2. I do my math. That's 9. I like to reduce, but 12 times 5 is 60. Divided by 2 is 30. Or you can reduce, divide by 2 for each of these. 6 times 5 is 30. 39 meters squared is your answer. We're plugging in the numbers. These sometimes people say are easier just because you know which one the base is. All right? And the other nice thing is, if you're really dedicated, you can have a peek at the answers in some way or shape or form in the weeks to come. There's the 3 times 3. That's for the area of the base. 12 from adding 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Times 5, slant height. Divided by 2 since they're all triangles. We get 9 plus 30. Hey, we're 3 for 3. This one, another triangular pyramid. Try it out on your own. Notice we haven't even got to cones, but cones, not too terrible bad. Follow the formula. All right, if you paused and tried it on your own, good job. If you didn't, now you have one more chance to do that. And we go. All right, we're looking for the area of the base. It is 3 high, and the base is that. So 3 times 4 Since it's a triangle, I divide by 2 because it's half of that rectangle I'm actually finding. Then we find the perimeter of that base. 4 is this edge, 4 is that edge, 4 is that edge. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. Slant height is 6. So perimeter times slant height, divide by 2. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Or you could simplify. 2 times 3 is 6. All right, I want to simplify 3. So that is 36. Or I could have done 72 divided by 2 is 36. And I get 42 when I add these last two together. And I do inches. Hopefully you knew it was squared. All right. Let's check out what they got, and then we're on to cones. They're plugging these items in. 4 times 3 divided by 2. 12 for the perimeter. 6 for the length, the slant height. Do the math. And you get 42 inches squared. Now, the diagram shows a cone and its net. The blue dashed line is the slant height of the cone. The distance from the vertex to a point on the edge. All right? So we have a circle that is the bottom. Then we have this Pac-Man-like shape, which you can see is 3/4 of a circle. So that will come into play. Here's what they suggest, and I agree with them, but I want to tell you what each part is. The surface area, pi r squared. Pi r squared, that's the area of the base. Hey, just like we've always been doing. Plus pi r times the slant height. All right, that was L, the slant height. Okay. They're doing area for this, but they've figured out that the formula, they only need pi times r times L. But I bet they slip in a few extra things for what L is. We will see in the next slide. So, use the formula. Pi r squared. Hey, I know what r is. The radius at the bottom is 3. Oh, so 3 squared. I know what r is. That's that. L, I know what the slant height is. That's 10. We should seemingly be able to do this problem pretty easily. Write out the formula. Plug the items in. Look like they do. Substitute. Oh, 3.14. 3 squared. All right, plus 3.14 times 3 times 10. Now, once I put the numbers in, after I wrote this, I know exactly what to do. 9, because you have to do PEMBA, exponents first, times 3.14, and then 3.14 times 3 times 10. We get those items. We add them together. We get 122.46. So this all turned to that. This turned to this. We add them together. And don't forget, it should be centimeters squared. So, we look at the formula. Use that first. Oh, 4 squared. 4 times 10. Watch what they plug in. 4 squared times 3.14. 4 for the radius, 10 for the slant height, 3.14 for that. We're literally plugging numbers in, then doing the math. When we multiply those two together, we get 50.24. 16 times 3.14. 40 times 3.14. Add, and we get our items. Cones, if you will write out the formula and plug things in, you'll find they're not too bad.